24 years old, and the nurse tells me, Miss Darville, your test has come back positive. In the same breath, she asked if I'd like to book in for a termination. No, he smacked that woman in the face. It's like, shh, how dare you? And I knew he might hear you, and this is my ancestor child. 9 months, thousands of miles, and 37 hours of labor later, like a captured wild animal laying on my back, legs wide open in stirrups, my hands tied down. The last thing I remember is a voice saying, soon you won't feel anything, love. As the mask is coming towards my face, I protest and scream, no, you promised to give me a local. I hold my breath for as long as I can until I'm forced to breathe. Everything goes black and I enter the void. I wake up. He's gone. My baby is gone. I try to sit up and I can't. My entire abdominal muscles have been sliced. And where my baby once was, there's metal staples now holding my body together. Helpless, I scream, give me my baby! 10 years later, I'm deep in an ayahuasca journey. I'm witnessing a young woman giving birth to her baby girl. It's my great-grandmother birthing my grandmother. And as she screams for her brown baby that she will never hold, I release a blood-curdling scream from the depths of my womb and purge violently into the bucket. I am reliving the trauma of my ancestors. I feel her pain and shame. And I'm also amazed at the echo of transgenerational trauma playing out in my life. And as my Jamaican grandma would say, blood is thicker than water. Now I'm 7 years old. I'm laying a plate of food by the pear tree in my backyard in Toronto. This is where I grew up, not my mother's island in the sun, but cold, suburban, westernized Canada. I get guided to do this. I hear this sweet, loving voice, and I love playing and dancing in these realms. My mother sees me out the window. What the hell are you doing there, voodoo child? Ashamed and shut down again for my innocent, authentic expression. I'm in trouble again. I don't even know what I was doing. I just know that it was easier for me to communicate to them than it was to the living in my household. Glued to reruns of Gilligan's Island, Swiss Family Robinson, and my favorite, The Blue Lagoon. I fantasize about this life in the TV. I dream about escaping the Ice Age and living this life. Anything has got to be better than this. My ancestors arrived in Jamaica in the 1600s. And just like it says on the Jamaican dollar bill, out of many, one people. That's me, mixed race. Even though that truth, my family would like to sweep very far underneath the proverbial colonial carpet. It was never spoken about, it was hidden at all costs, and our curls were nearly straightened out of existence. Now, 4 months later, my chocolate brown baby suckling at my breast, our outrigger canoe filled with coconuts and mangoes and fruits from the jungle, my new partner who looks remarkably similar to Jesus Christ at the helm, our guitar strapped to the mast of our tiny boat, and the wind is playing a sweet melody on her strings. As we are only GPS in these uncharted, pristine waters of the Palawan Sea in the Philippines. I am finally free. I am living my childhood fantasy. I am Brooke Shields. Free from all the trappings of the modern world. Free from all the harsh judgments of my family. So I can heal and do motherhood my way. Naked, living on a deserted island, and communing to the spirit worlds. Our only concern, where to get the next bunch of coconuts. A whole year flies by, and a new seed is planted in my womb. I hear that voice. It's time to leave. For no apparent reason, we break camp and we head back to Australia. I didn't know it, but I had malaria and I lost that seed. I might have died had I stayed. But that star seed came back 9 months later. And now I find myself living down under with 2 children, living a nuclear family nightmare. This was not on my vision board. I'm sure you've all heard that African proverb, it takes a whole village to raise a child. And I agree. Women need other women, men need other men, and children need other children, and we all need community in order to thrive. Australia's just not cutting it for us. So she guides us to the Gambia, one of the smallest countries in West Africa. I'm going to learn African dance, and my partner's going to learn how to play the drums, and our children are going to run wild and free like children are supposed to. We learn about the slave trade, specifically from the Gambia to Jamaica. I connect the dots. The British colonizers stole people from their British colony in Africa and took them to their British colony in Jamaica. That's why, out of all the countries in Africa, I was guided to this land. We were at the roots of our ancestors. This was way too orchestrated to be real. The skeleton that lives in my family closet was out dancing in plain sight. See, while my family wanted to escape our heredity and to move far away from what we truly are and have no black blood, erase all black blood from our DNA, I did the unforgivable. I remember when my firstborn was born, and I was walking down that long corridor in the hospital to the payphone. Remember those? And I'm alone in a foreign country. I call my parents. Phone is ringing. My heart is pounding. They pick up. I hear my mother and father's familiar voice at the other end of the world. I'm fighting back the tears because I'm in so much pain. I tell them, your first grandson's been born. Silence. and then click. That click of rejection, something that my ancestors knew well, would reverberate in my heart for 6 long years while I was disowned by my family. Now back in Africa, my 5 and 2-year-old sons sitting on the huge stone walls of Fort James, the dilapidated slave house, where the troughs where my distant white ancestors had treated my distant black ancestors as worse than animals remains. I explain the story of our ancestors to my sons, and I teach my oldest son to always be proud of the color of his skin. We are survivors. And from 60 feet down, I draw the water from the well, like I did every day. I see my face reflected in the dark water. I look African. I have lived lifetimes within this lifetime. She speaks loud and clear. You must leave immediately. I don't question that voice. My scar has sharpened my sixth sense like the blade that once sliced me open. I don't hesitate. And in less than 2 weeks, I find myself in England, baby strapped to the back, as my eldest son and partner quietly slip into a coma. From our basic hut in Africa to modern day everything, electricity, running water, the worst food on the planet, and a vital drip that saved my son and my partner's lives. I see as their fevers rage, I see on the TV that the place we had just left and called home for 18 months has erupted into civil war. Tears splash on my fevering son's body. Thank God I listened. She reassures me, everything's going to be okay. Everything's going to be okay. Thank the goddess. She was right. Again, she was right. This voice, serving me wisdom, protecting me and my family, gently guiding me, she is my ancestor. And I am proud to be a survivor of those times, a descendant of those who survived. My story is testament to how deep the cruel legacy of colonialism and racism run, and is still a blight in our world today. And when I connect to my roots and listen to my intuition and follow that guidance, I am breaking the chains of my past and rewriting my story of one from shame to dignity. And my womb is testament. There is only one race, the human race. I have a black child and I have a white child. And I have 3 gorgeous, brown-skinned, curly-haired grandsons who one day they will birth my great-grandchildren. And when I drop this bag of bones and join the ancestors, I will gently guide them and protect them. And now, I do not need to limit myself by my ancestry, define myself by my ancestry. I know who I am. And I know that I am a child of the universe. We all are. But I would be like a tree with no roots if I didn't know my history. And so, as for my ancestors and yours, they are here with us in this room right now. And it's with the deepest and humblest gratitude that I acknowledge the Lulahur, the Balinese ancestors, for holding us all in their sacred prayer field. Suksumo, Matra Suksuma, Homa Takriyasan. Thank you, thank you, thank you.